Coming up on the game plan with Ron Rivera. Coming off a road test down in Atlanta that saw the Commanders get back in the win column, Washington heads north to New York for a battle with the Giants. I'll ask Coach Rivera how the team has been preparing for the G-Men. We'll review the game tape and break down the key matchups in this NFC East showdown. It's your inside look at the game plan, and it starts now. The game plan with Ron Rivera is presented by your local Honda dealer. Feel the power of Honda's most electrifying vehicles yet, like the CR-V Hybrid, Accord Hybrid. Find adventure in a rugged SUV like the Pilot Trail Sport, or experience performance in a fun-to-drive Civic. Find your perfect Honda. See your local Honda dealer today. And by the Maryland Lottery Fast Play Games. Play fast, win fast today. Please play responsibly. I'm Logan Paulson, and welcome to the game plan with who? Ron Rivera, the head coach, man, a guy that needs no introduction. Coach, congrats on the win last week. How does that win affect the prep coming in this week?
Well, I think obviously the energy is a little different.
to put it mildly, right?
Yes, it is. But it's been a good week. It really has. The guys have focused in, they've practiced. You know, this is the divisional opponent coming up.
Yep. And do you find that, like, after a win, guys are a little bit more reticent to some of those coaching points, or is it a little bit easier to get those coaching points in?
It is. You know, in fact, everybody in the building's happy. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, and you mentioned a divisional opponent, the Giants, and the Giants, you know, they're a little bit down at the moment, but for whatever reason, they always seem to have our number. How do you get the guys ready for this matchup?
Well, you know, the big thing for us more than anything else, this really is about the division. So that's the first thing. Secondly, you know, we do have a big rivalry with them. Yeah. So we want to come out and we want to play as well as we can against these guys. We want to get after them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things I look at is, you know, matchups make fights, for example, right? And I see Wink Martindale, a guy that brings a ton of pressure, and Sam Howell, who turns those pressures into sacks at a high rate, right? So how do you get Sam Howell ready for this opportunity? He's been playing good football. How do we get him ready to go?
Well, and it's not just going to be about Sam, but it's about the guys up front.
Yep, absolutely.
It's about the receivers. It's going to be about the tight ends, the backs. This is really about the whole offense. Why? Because, you know, Wink does attack you. He's very aggressive.
Yeah.
But if you give time, if you slow it down, okay, now what happens is the receivers got to get open.
Yeah.
They've got to get open. The backs have to step up, chip, get their way out there. Yeah. Tight ends got to chip, get their way out there. Now everybody's got to be in place, and then quick decisions by Sam.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because everyone thinks it's a quarterback. Versus this type of defense, it's one-on-one matchups, right? And if my guys on the edge can win quickly, I'm going to give my quarterback an opportunity to make a play.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So in addition to the offense, right, which is always kind of a fun point to talk about, the defense, right? You're dealing with a lot of mobility at the quarterback spot. Daniel Jones may or may not play, but, you know, half of their explosive runs this year come on scrambles from him. We know what Tyrod Taylor can do. How do you prep these guys for this?
Well, exactly that. Just, you know, for the most part, both quarterbacks are very similar in talent.
Yeah,
you know, they both are very mobile, good arms, good decision makers. So what we have to do is we got to make sure we contain the quarterback. That's been one of our cruxes. If you go back and look at the games that we've won, we've been able to contain the quarterback and their running game. Games that we've struggled, we have struggles containing the quarterback and the run. So that's a big part of what we need to do is be good against the run, contain the quarterbacks, and then play from there.
We mentioned containing the quarterback. So much of what they try to do is get the quarterback to the perimeter, right? On these boots and these keepers, it's like it is their offense. How do you manage that?
Well, again, it's going to go back to setting vertical edges.
Yeah.
If you've got contain, you've got to make sure you get vertical quickly. Yeah. If you're a force guy, you've got to make sure you show up on time.
Yes, and I imagine that's really challenging with a guy that talented, but you've got a whole bunch of guys that are very talented on the defensive line. I think they're going to be up for the challenge. Coach, thanks so much. Can't wait to dive into the film with you. Always looking forward to that. Let's look at the production Coach is getting from his linebackers. The Washington defense is tied its season low for points allowed last week, matching the 16 allowed in Week 1 versus the Cardinals. Washington had a season high 3 takeaways last week, all interceptions. It was the most takeaways in a game for the Commanders since last season versus the Eagles, 4 takeaways in Week 10. Let's fire up the film room, presented by the Maryland Lottery Fast Play Games. Play fast, win fast today. Please play responsibly. Coach, always a pleasure having you here, and it's always fun to be talking about the film, especially when we get to talk about linebackers. I know you know a little bit about linebackers, right? Yeah. And everyone says, well, what's going on here? This is the Benjamin St. Juste interception. I say the linebackers really make this play go, and really the call by Jack makes this play go.
Yes, it does. It was a very aggressive call by Jack, but one of the analytics talk about when a team gets to an empty set, nobody back there to protect you, 5 guys up, you have to bring one more than they can block.
Yeah, 5 guys, right? And you guys do a great job here. The thing I really like about this, Coach, is if I'm an offensive player and I'm trying to set this protection, I see we got 4 guys over here, so we got to set our slide that way, right, Coach? We got to move these guys this way, and it's great job by Cody not tipping it off. Great job by Jamin disguising this, right to the last second, and we create a perfect seam here because this is to the man side. I got to take him, I got to take him, and I got a free runner to the quarterback, right?
Absolutely, and because of the free runner, he puts the ball up a lot sooner than he thought he had time
Yes,
to.
and that's the thing. When you're pressuring a young quarterback, they're going to make mistakes, right? And that's what you get here. You get a little bit lucky in the back end, but great play here by Jamin. Great job catching this interception. And then what we got here, Coach? This is good. This is good veteran leadership here, eh, man?
Smart.
Yeah, get down, man. Let's preserve that clock. Good job by Cam there. I always love to see that. And it wasn't just Jamin. There were some other guys making plays, and I love this play, Coach, because to me it's everything you guys have been talking about, right? This is a toss crack play. They're going to try and crack down on the defensive end here, as you know. And I think I look at James Smith-Williams. I'm like, this is what you want. Yes. You penetrate up the field. You pick the puller, and then you let the guys in the back end make plays.
That's the key. Pick the puller, because now what happens is there's 2 guys get to the outside and only 1 guy blocking.
Yes.
If you don't pick the puller, what happens is they get an opportunity to have a hat for a hat.
Hat for hat.
Because of that, because of what James Smith does. And again, it's getting vertical, setting vertical edges,
Yes.
setting vertical edges. That takes a lot of the pressure off the rest of the defense. Why? Because the ball can't go outside freely.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I love this too, because you get Kendall again, who's just playing great football, Coach. He's just doing a great job, taking a shot at the outside leg, forcing it back in. Jamin gets hand on the fullback, and then does a great job fighting for that tackle. And it's not one guy making a play. Jamin gets the tackle, but it's a defensive community making that play.
Oh, without a doubt. And I love the way you put community into it, because there's 9 guys in this.
Always love seeing that, right, Coach?
Yes.
And this one too. Again, it's Cleek Hudson's going to make this play coming off the backside, and he had 8-9 plays in this game, but I thought he did a great job showing up when he needed to. But he gets the tackle here, right? Great job, great hustle, great effort. But I look at the front side of this and I say, man, these guys are doing a great job.
Okay, again, a guy that played very well for us, Casey Toohill. Again, Casey gets the vertical edge set.
Yep.
He stones it right there. Here comes Jason to fit. And now, again, what happens is, because it's all piled up, the backside pressure gets an opportunity to make the tackle.
Yeah, and I think if you look at this, right, like this is a great job by Casey. It's a great job by John of playing with great vision, great physicality, and closing the gap up so that your guy can make that play.
Absolutely.
It's a team effort. Love to see it. Great energy, great effort by that group. Awesome job.
Again, 10 guys in that picture.
10 guys in that picture. There we go. Another thing you've talked about with me, you've talked about in your pressers, is linebackers playing aggressively downhill.
Yes.
And this is a clip, like Cody specifically does a great job, like right when the action's happening, right when the ball touches the back, he's in the backfield. These double teams can't set, and so we're in the backfield making plays.
Well, the best part to it, again, give Jamin a little bit of credit as well, because he gets down.
Yep.
As soon as he gets downhill, 67 comes off on the double team.
Yeah.
And now we get a little bit more push too as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see what it does especially when you've got good football players at these defensive tackle spots. John Ridgway had a great game as well. They can get in these one-on-ones and they can get on the tackle. It's an awesome job by them. And again, you just see like all the coaching things you've mentioned in your pressers. Guys playing physical, guys playing fast, making it into plays. Always exciting. And then maybe, I don't know, the best play of the game. I don't know. What do you think, Coach? It's pretty good football play. Got this 2-man look, and I love the technique that Jamin's using here. And I want you to talk about that a little bit.
Well, the best thing is, what Jamin's doing is he's in a great square position. He shuffles his feet. Okay, so again, it's feet, hips, hands, and then eyes.
Yeah.
So if you watch him, he does everything you're supposed to. He moves his feet, moves his hips, puts his hands and gets contact, and now his eyes go to the quarterback because he's in a perfect trail position, undercuts the pass, makes the play to end the game for us.
And I might be wrong here, Coach, but in 2-man, he can undercut it, right? Because he's got help over top, right? He's got guys back here that are helping out take away that vertical.
Yes, and the big thing, though, he did, because he's the widest guy, he wants to get him back inside.
Yes.
So he shuffles outside with good feet, good hips, good hands, forces the release, the receiver to release inside, and now puts him in position where he can intercept the ball.
I mean, you love that. I love a guy that, just seems to be getting better every single week, Coach. The linebackers keep to be getting better every single week, and it was great to see this defense come out and have an excellent performance. Hopefully they can do the same thing against the Giants. So looking forward to that.
Opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys like the game plan, you're going to love Command Center. Fred, Santana, and myself, we break down Commanders-only content every single week. Make sure you check it out Thursdays on the Commanders YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Coach and I are headed into his office to break down the Giants game tape, looking for advantages for the Commanders. That's next on the Game Plan with Ron Rivera, presented by your local Honda dealer. Welcome back to the Game Plan with Ron Rivera. Time for the Rivera Review, presented by DC Prime, Loudoun's premier steakhouse. For dining reservations or private dining, call 703-840-2099. All right, Coach, let's check out the New York Giants here. And they've got a lot of stuff going on defensively. I think Wink Martindale, everyone talks about him being this pressure master guru, but he does game plan based on the opponent's strengths. And in this game, a little bit more conservative, a little bit more drop 8 coverage, having the quarterback kind of have to identify when it's a pressure, when it's not. Let's talk about this real quick.
Well, for the most part, this is simulated pressure.
Okay.
They're basically going low. So they're overloading to one side, going to turn your protection the whole way.
Yep.
And then what he does is, because it's a simulated pressure, he only brings 3 initially.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is what, when I was a coordinator, we used to call a flush play.
Okay.
You want to force the quarterback to run away from the pressure.
Yep.
Okay, and into a defender coming around.
And which way do you want him to run, Coach?
You typically want him running to his left. Why?
Okay.
Because as a right-handed quarterback, to be able to throw the ball downfield, you've got to set your feet.
Set your feet.
Okay, and this is exactly what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
They set it up.
Yeah, and so they set it up and they get exactly what they want out of this. And I think it shows the balance you can get in this defense, right? You can get a whole bunch of different looks. Obviously he wants to pressure, but I love this coverage structure they get to. They're matching this stuff up. There's nowhere to go with the football, and you get the flush like you're talking about.
Yes, because then again, this is what's so important about the flush is the guy that's going to make the play is supposed to be the linebacker.
Yes.
Again, he's simulated, he's blitzing, and what he does is he steps back. See how the whole line turns down to the right?
Yep.
Okay, and really the thing that helps Buffalo get rid of the ball is that their left tackle, okay,
yeah,
he keeps the defender from getting inside nice and tight, which would have made a shorter angle for the linebacker that's looping around.
Oh, I see, because the stunt, this guy's in pursuit here, and that would have been a sack, you're right.
Absolutely, and you look at what happens. Look at how, Josh goes to set his feet, and typically that's usually when you have your defender getting into him.
Yeah.
The fortunate thing for the Giants is that this wasn't recognized. If 16 had seen it, for Buffalo and broke left, Josh has a chance to.
Yeah, are they matching this correctly, Coach? I mean, this looks like a cover 2 structure, and they're kind of carrying it in an unusual way. So this is a bust, you think, for them? Hard to say.
It is hard to say, but to be honest with you, this looks like they're playing some sort of quarter half.
I see.
The top.
I got you.
Rolling to the single side, and so really, if you look at the half safety on the far numbers, he sees it. The safety that's getting himself in trouble is the safety that's here. See how he's coming over like a fact safety?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what happened is this one safety on the right hash, if he falls inside, this receiver should be breaking out to the left.
Yeah, I got you.
If he breaks out to the left, Josh could have led him on this throw.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's kind of a fun pressure there. Interesting coverage structure in the back end, quarter, half. I watched it a whole bunch, missed that one. But yeah, that's great insight on kind of some different stuff they do from a coverage standpoint. Absolutely. And then I think this is the play that everyone thinks, right? It's the red zone. We're going to get man across the board. We're going to motion out. You're going to see the matchups, right? Everyone's got a man, and they're going to bring one more than you can block, like you talked about with the empty stuff, right?
Absolutely. So what Wink does here, again, he's going to bring one more than you can protect.
Yep.
Okay. And obviously for the 49ers, their protection rules tells them that the widest guy belongs to the quarterback. So whichever way they turn the line, okay, that quarterback is now responsible for that blitzer. So they're going to turn their line to the right. Okay. And everybody's picked up but one guy.
Right.
Okay, so now the quarterback has to make a quick decision. He's got to get rid of the ball. To me, obviously, the place to go to the ball right now is going to be your drag. Yeah. Okay.
The running back here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And now, I will say this is a heck of a throw.
I was going to say, the ball. This is one of those things where you're standing on the sideline and you're like, the ball should go here, but great job making it right?
Oh, he did, because look at this. Look at the play. I mean, it's funny. Just as I said, I remember the play. And again, this is why these guys are out of. These guys are the ones that are seeing the play. Yeah. And again, this is a heck of a throw. It's a heck of a catch. Yep. Okay. And you just sit there and go, wow, that's pretty special. But again, everything tells you that ball should be going underneath to the running back. Yep. Again, great decision on the quarterback's part. What do I know? Yeah. And this is stuff that Sam's going to need to do in the game against the Giants, right? Kind of find those opportunities to make plays. I know the protections and, be a baller like he is. So, absolutely. And then offensively, not
not a lot of positive things because they have really good skill position players. They're struggling on the offensive line. I think they know they're struggling on the offensive line. So one of the things you do is you move the pocket, and they move the pocket a ton.
Right, and then this is what's interesting because whenever teams, begin to move the pocket, what they try to do more than anything else is they try to get the ball out quickly. And so what you have to do is you've got to understand that because again, if you can get the quarterback pulled up, he can't get the ball out.
Yes,
but
yes.
you allow him to spread the defense a little bit. Now what happens is this high-low becomes
real.
Very yes, it does. Why? Because if that corner doesn't play it top down, he's going to hit the 7 going to the sideline.
Yep.
But because he plays it, the ball's thrown where it should be thrown, and that's underneath.
Yeah, and you talk about pulling them up, Coach. Could you hit on that a little bit more? Like because the Giants run this keeper, this boot action a little bit differently than the Atlanta Falcons do. They are very conscientious of giving the quarterback the edge with the blocker.
Right.
Let's talk about this defensive end here. How can he play this better?
Well, the biggest thing more than anything else is, first of all, you got to look at all your indicators, okay? Everything's telling you right now that, dude, he's blocking down on
Yeah, that tight at 82 is he's looking at you.
Yep, right foot's up, he's looking down, he's leaning into the play. All he needs to do is get to the outside shoulder and hold that spot, and it allows the quarterback to get outside. And again, he does a nice job of reacting and then getting back outside. And because he does get back outside, he still forces it a little bit early. Because again, if this quarterback had a touch more time, he might throw the 7 route, which is right at the number 40.
Yeah, but this is a big chunk of their offense. So making sure that that the defensive ends are aware of those indicators, the coverage guys know what they're dealing with, is going to be super important. Because again, they do have playmakers. Slayton's a fast guy. Waller's a fast guy.
Yes,
they can make plays and they can hurt you. It's just about managing that on a down-to-down basis.
Right, and again, taking away his options.
Yes.
The longer he holds the ball, the longer these routes get time to develop, and the more dangerous those routes become.
Absolutely. And so that's how they kind of do their passing game stuff. They kind of do a lot of this move the pocket and all this stuff. But another huge part of their offense is they want to get Saquon Barkley the ball.
Yes.
They want him to run the football. And there's another clip on here where he's running the football. And to me, this is one of the things that I love about the Bills defense is this is a 7-man box, Coach, as you pointed out earlier. And how do you stop a run with a 7-man box when you're a guy short? Great defensive line play.
Yes, you do. Defensive line play and linebackers getting to where they need to.
Yes.
This is basically a cover 2 structure. The right corner is going to be the force. He's got to set the edge. You can't allow the ball to get outside. Okay, so he's got to, now they go from a cover 2 structure to basically, some sort of trap.
Okay.
Because now that corner's widening, so he's going to be late coming back down. Okay, but what has to happen is the end's got to set the edge.
Yes.
The linebacker's got to fit inside the edge, and then the other linebacker got to fit the edge. The guy that's got to make the play is the backside nickel.
Backside nickel, yeah. And as an offensive player, I want that guy. Usually that guy's not a great tackler. He doesn't want to get in the mix. 7 here, like we talked about, is a little bit of an outlier, but this is good defensive football, kind of making sure that you box the run, everyone fits it correctly, and you end up getting a tackle for a very minimal gain.
Yeah, 7 for Buffalo is their nickel. So for the most part, he's replaced the Sam linebacker. So what he's done is he comes back in the box. What really happens too, and you can see what they're doing is, the reason they're bringing the Z receiver over is to force the defense to change. Well, they know that anytime they go to slot formation, these guys go from a cover 2 structure to some sort of trap where he gets off now and he plays from top down.
Love that, yep.
Okay, so now what happens though, because they recognize that what Buffalo does is they bump their linebackers over. They now put their nickel in position where he's the guy that's going to make the tackle. Why? Because he's unblocked.
Yeah, and this is, I look at Ed Oliver, I look at the linebackers, everything you pointed out is 100% right, and that's how you end up, the Buffalo Bills did anyway, keeping Saquon Barkley to 1.2 yards a carry before that big run at the end of the game, just playing consistent football against a really good football player.
Yes, it was. It was a good job. It was a heck of a football game, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and so, Coach, really excited to watch you get this stuff executed against the New York Giants.
All right.
If you guys are looking for more Commanders content, make sure you guys check out the Players Club. London Fletcher, Santana Moss, and your favorite Commanders player sit down and talk about the game in a way only those who played it can. This week, Kendra Fuller, the man with all the interceptions, is on the show. Make sure you check it out Saturday nights, 11:35 p.m. on WUSA 9. Keep it here, because right after this break, I'm asking Coach what the Commanders need to do to leave MetLife Stadium with a dub this afternoon. That's next on The Game Plan with Ron Rivera, presented by your local Honda dealer. Welcome back. It's time for some healthy competition presented by Ortho Virginia, official orthopedic and sports medicine partner of the Washington Commanders. Here's a look at the competition today for the Commanders. The Giants have lost 4 in a row, with their last win in a Week 2 comeback against the Cardinals. The Commanders' defense is going up against a team that has not scored an offensive touchdown since they played the 49ers in Week 3. However, this is still an NFL team with NFL talent.
For the most part, it's divisional. I think that's probably the biggest one more than anything else. It's a divisional game, and you're going to play against your divisional rivals a little better. At least I believe you typically should, because you know them a little bit more. And because of that, I think that's what really brings the game to being pretty evenly matched. The thing that we have to do more than anything else is just go out and play our game. And we can't worry about what they've done and haven't done. We got to really focus in on what we can do and how well we can do it.
We've got something special for you this weekend. Saturday night, Brian Mitchell and Santana Moss are bringing you a Command Center special from New York. Command Center Game Day Live, 12 p.m. Sunday. Brian Mitchell and Santana Moss live at MetLife Stadium. They're on the field with the turf and the players. Check it out. Command Center post-game live right after the game. I will be hosting with Sean Springs here in the studio, and B. Mitch and Santana will be in New York, giving you unprecedented insight into the game. Check it out on Commanders YouTube, Facebook, and X. It's time for your ticket to a dub, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. All right, Coach, going up to New York this week, what is the ticket to getting a dub from a team perspective? What do you think?
Well, from the team, first of all, let's be explosive on special teams.
Oh, love it, man. Last week, right?
Yes.
We didn't even talk about that. That's awesome.
Yes. Jamison was awesome. Got the big return. Again, credit to our special teams. Secondly, offensively. Protect the quarterback.
Protect the quarterback.
Okay. Open up the rushing lanes.
Yeah.
Quarterback, quick decisions.
Yeah.
Everybody else doing our job.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when I look at the offense, one of the things you said is running the football there. This team, despite having some very talented people on the defensive line, they struggle stopping the run. Does that kind of get you salivating a little bit, say, man, we got to really take advantage of this matchup? Or
It does. It's one of those things that running the ball well can lead to other good things for us as far as our offense is concerned. And then defensively, the biggest thing more than anything else, contain the quarterback,
yes.
Stop the run.
I mean, it's easier said than done sometimes, I'm sure, right? But I look at that offense and I say, man, they got some talented people over there. Dexter Lawrence might be one of the best defensive tackles in football. Bobby Okereke is doing a great job as a linebacker. How do you kind of manage that cylinder in the middle, the nose and the linebacker playing good football?
Well, I think a big part of it is, again, making sure that if you're not blocking him up, you're running away from him.
I mean, he's right in the middle of defense, Coach. How do you run away from him, right?
Well, because, again, making it hard for him, getting outside on the edge.
Yeah, I see.
Turning the corner, running counters, running gap
schemes,
creating angles for blocks.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely. And then offensively, we talked about the quarterback and their offensive line struggling tremendously. But they do have a lot of explosive playmakers in the offense, right? Waller, Robinson, all these guys that are very, very talented. How do you kind of manage that? How do you make sure you're matched up effectively there?
Well, first of all, you got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback, because one thing that they have done this year is they have taken vertical shots.
Yes.
And we want to keep the ball in front of us. We want to stay disciplined and force them to throw the ball underneath, drive downhill, and make your tackles.
And one of the things about their offensive line struggling, I think you feel very confident about your matchup with the defensive line there. Do you feel like there needs to be more pressure assigned just to ensure that you can get that quarterback stressed out and really high leveraged, or what?
Well, you do want to pressure as much as you can, but you don't want to, make that the ultimate thing
right.
You're focusing on. But what you got to do is do your job more than anything else. If you're the contained rusher, contain. If you're inside rusher, don't pop out of your lanes.
Yeah.
Be disciplined and just kind of work together, kind of like an amoeba, and just kind of surround it.
Coach, really looking forward to this game. Really excited about this opportunity. It's always fun to beat New York, so good luck this week. And make sure you guys tune in next week for the same kind of content.